So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all our viewers around the globe. And thank you for joining us again for another series of intimate conversations with special guests that are just awesome out there doing their thing. And today's guest is the beautiful Stacey Milich Smith. And welcome, Stacey.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, so welcome. And what I will do for those who don't know you, I'll just read this intro for you. So, in Stacey's words, I'm Stacey, an energy healer, photographer, and mentor, passionate about empowering women through transformational experiences. I combine Reiki, intuitive connection, and photography to help women embrace their authentic power. I also offer healing sessions with horses and mindset based courses. As an emerging leader in the online space, I mentor entrepreneurs in creating freedom and abundance, whether through healing, storytelling, or business growth. My mission is to inspire deep connection, confidence, and expansion. Love that. And yes, we're all sort of getting this, learning the online thing, aren't we? Now it's like, golly, everything used to be in person, and now it's
Yeah.
changed. But awesome stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, can't wait to get into this combo with you because over the years, I mean, we're around in the same district, but definitely online following this is, where we see everyone's what's going on and keeping up to date with everyone, which is really awesome. I love that about technology. And one of the things that I really we've done the photography thing. Um, if I was to just take I just want to plug you a wee bit here. And if I take this off and I go like that, this is a photo that this lady here took of me. We did a photo shoot. It was a goddess photo shoot. Oh my goodness. And it was I was excited though, and I'm not really one for the camera. I never was. I'm very much getting used to it now. But I didn't put the background up. Your work is definitely beautiful stuff, Stacey. And what I love is that you just get what we need to do. You get it and bring it out in us. So first question, I'm going to shush now and let you talk to me. But one of the things that I ask everybody is, were you a consciously aware child?
Um, I believe that I was, but I
Yeah.
believe it wasn't safe to explore that option inside. So yeah, I don't think I had many adults around me that understood that concept.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah, I guess I mean, lots of people like us always felt a little bit different and didn't really understand why, and then trying to figure it out, but no real guidance to of an adult to go to seek that information, if that makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
sure it does.
It's different, eh? I didn't either, and it was quite daunting at times, very overwhelming a lot of the time, and having to
Yeah,
navigate like trying to be normal. Like I never said anything to anyone for years and years and years, like actual, but freaked out every day, every night in my room at night. It was like, right.
yeah.
Um, but so how did you get into doing? How did you wake up? Was there an aha moment? Did you have a big awakening, or was it a gradual thing that happened over time?
I feel like there's like a few key significant moments in life, and then I feel like they've just, they just drop in like a truth bomb, and then you kind of try and take some time to uncover and make sense of it. And then I feel like when you're ready, you get another truth bomb, and then you try and unravel and make sense of that as well. So I feel like
Yeah.
that's kind of been the progress, and it's taken me a while to actually understand that you only get those truth bombs when you're actually ready to comprehend unraveling it, I guess, if that
Yeah.
kind of makes sense there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is like that because there's some deep wounds within all of us, eh? And we might
Mm.
want to get to those right now to clear something, but actually we're chipping away at it because we
Yeah.
aren't quite ready to really dive that deep into it and do it all at once right now,
Yeah.
you know? So yeah, it is
Yeah.
like that, definitely. And
Definitely.
and you've always been into horses, Stacey? Like you've always had horses around? Because I love the horse part.
Yes, so I grew up with horses sort of in and around and in my awareness. I had a great uncle was a jockey who I didn't really know that well, but I always admired him. And then another great uncle who kind of rode in the rodeos and stuff and always had horses and a little bit more connected with him. But that was sort of when I was younger. And then I think I might have been about 10 when I got my first pony. And then that one came and went. I don't know where it went. I can't even remember the story that I was told why it went. But then in my teenage years, like later teenage years, I had horses. I think I had about 4 horses over my teenage years. And I was telling this story to someone the other day that it was all driven by me. Like I didn't have parents that bought me a horse and took me to choose a horse. Like I had to navigate like most of it myself. They helped me on certain things, but like, yeah, it was all driven by me. And I think that's really cool because I think
Yeah.
now a lot of parents that I speak to that want to get horses for their kids, a lot of it's driven by parents as well alongside the kids.
Yes.
But yeah, it was
Yeah.
quite different. Yeah, it was interesting thinking about it.
Yeah. And like a
Mm.
lot of things with our kids, like I didn't push my children into doing anything. It was like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. It's all good. I didn't want to be
Yeah,
pushed. I never have been, so I didn't want to do that to my kids. But I do see it a lot with parents
yeah,
really pushing
yeah.
their children into sport or whatever. And I know teamwork's really good thing to learn. But I think over
Mm.
life you learn that whether you're in sports or not, that sort of thing. But the horse
Yeah.
thing, that's interesting because I grew up, my brother had a horse. Mum and dad got him a horse when he was younger, and he did a bit of the you know, he was more into the rodeo, but he never took his horse into the rodeos. But he just rode. And then I was sort of interested, but I was always a wee bit too scared. I had a fear of them and heights. So, being up on the horse was a different story. You might think you're
Yeah.
all brave and everything, then you get up there and you're a bit higher. And it was a
Yeah.
fear thing for me. But there was a couple that asked me if I would ride their very old horse. He was called Farrier. He had a bit of
Mhm.
oh God, Clydesdale type of big, solid, real solid, not quite Clydes, but I think he had something like that in him. But oh my God, he only
Mhm.
went one speed, which was they just wanted me to exercise him, give him a bit of
Yeah.
exercise. So that was really good for me because he just waddled it along, and I could ride him out the country roads around town and stuff, and it was all good. And I really enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It was lovely. My friend's
Yeah.
family, they were very horsey, and my girlfriend, had a beautiful horse that I really had total trust in, Bluebell,
Mhm.
and I loved that horse, and I always, wanted to have a ride whenever I was around her. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I felt
That
safe.
was
I knew she was safe.
yeah, that was my horse that I got returning to riding again, but before I turned 40, I got my first horse as an adult and his name was Wilson. And he was old, big, like just a beautiful, gentle giant, like exactly what I needed coming back to riding.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, like those horses are priceless. Yeah, he was beautiful, but we put him to sleep a couple of years ago. He was just yeah, very old and very tired and that. So
mm.
yeah, he was awesome. But now got 5 horses and I don't ride any of them. They're all
Are
miniatures.
you? Yeah, yeah,
Well, one big one, and then the other 4 are miniatures. Obviously, don't ride. But my big horse, I haven't. She had an injury a couple of years ago, so she's just been in recovery mode.
yeah,
But yeah, might be the year that I get back on her. We'll
yeah.
see. Mm.
Beautiful. And so you have people come in and you do healing with the horses, eh? Tell us all about that. Tell us what happens and how it rolls and what do that, because I'm
Yep.
keen on listening to that.
Well, pretty much. Um, I put my table, like my hand table, out in the paddock. And yeah, my clients just come and they have a moment to connect with the horses. Generally, it'll just be the miniatures in the paddock and the healing where the table is, because I feel like the miniatures are less intimidating. They're a lot smaller, and
Yeah,
especially if it's a client that's not so much a horse person. I think like horses could probably disagree with me that small ones are nicer than big ones. I think the other way around. But
yeah,
yeah, I just feel like just that small size is easier for people. But yeah, they get a moment to connect with the horses, and then they lie on the table, receive their Reiki energy healing, and the horses kind of come and go in the space. However, they feel like they're very sensitive to energy, so
yeah,
they give me little messages as well. Like I just read what they're doing and what's going on, and it's really interesting because they behave quite differently with different clients. Like one client, I've had them ripping circles around the paddock, like racing around, and then another client, I've had them all like just lay on the ground around the table and go to sleep. So it's really, yeah, it just adds another dimension to the whole experience.
yeah,
And
yeah,
like being out in nature, there's all the other elements as well. Like there's, the sun, the wind, there's leaves dropping, there's birds chirping, there's cicadas, like there's just all these other beautiful elements. And like sometimes I've spoken to clients, they've been lying on the table looking up, because generally the table's under a tree, so it's shaded. And then they open their eyes and they just see all the dapples of light coming through the tree. And
oh,
it's just a beautiful experience.
yeah, for sure. Do they like have they mentioned what they get from the horses though? Like, is there a can they feel? Has anyone identified anything like that? Felt.
Yeah, I guess sometimes, but like I feel like there's definitely some people that mention the feeling of the presence of the horses.
Yeah,
And I think some people are not really 100% sure of what kind
yeah,
of they're feeling, or what's going on. You know what it's like
yeah, yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, yeah, for
Yeah, there's
sure.
just there's a mix of different people and feeling different things. But generally, what I do is after a session, um, maybe in a message later, I just sort of give a summary of everything that I kind of analyzed, and then leave it up them. They discern how what that means for them, and then
Outfits. Yeah,
yeah, because it's not. I feel like I'm not qualified to say this, and this happened, and this is what it is. Like it's up to
yeah,
them. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. No, I love that idea, and I know a friend and I have been meaning to come out and do that with your horses and you for quite a little while actually. So I'll revisit that with her. Yeah. And your
It's
photography.
really
Sorry.
yeah. Oh, sorry. I was saying it's really funny because I always say that I'm doing Reiki with horses assisting in the healing space, but I actually think it's the horses doing the healing and I'm assisting.
Yeah.
I'm assisting
Yeah.
them and I'm providing space. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And I get that. There's a friend up north that does the same thing, and her herd come in, and she said it's totally that. The horses are really present and really there with them, and she said it's really profound. Um,
mm,
so the photography side of things, you started not started with, but you have introduced the goddess photography set, which we did. And that
yes,
was,
yeah,
for me, we did a family sitting, which was really lovely. We've got those up everywhere. And then I did this goddess one with you after that, because I thought, well, yeah, no, that was pretty cool. I don't mind that. That was all good. And we had a rapport then by then too, and we did the goddess thing. And I was really excited. I was trying to sort of think about, well, who am I actually, and what is that? If I'm this goddess, what does that mean? What do I bring to these photos? Like, it was a really interesting, journey into it, really, and what I was going through. Like, first of all, I was thinking, oh God, no, that I shouldn't do it, really. I probably need to cancel it, because I didn't feel like I had anything to really bring forward. It was really weird. And then all of a sudden, it was overnight actually, in sleep. And I woke up the next morning and I thought, oh my God, I can take this and I can dress like that and I can do that, and decided on what I was going to present. And that was really interesting. Like, it really was. And that photo, I just absolutely love it. I hadn't, we get sent the file, you send us the file, and there were so many photos that it was beautiful. But I hadn't actually seen that one. For whatever reason. It was at another point in time when I was flicking through them, and I went, like, it actually took my breath away. And I thought, oh my God, that is such a powerful photo, and really spoke of me. And it made me cry. It really made me
Yeah,
cry. It's like, oh my God, there it is. That's the one I'm going to put up on the wall. It was so
yeah,
cool. And you, and just wanting to bring in too, that you started the Goddess Tarot, or cards, Oracle
yeah.
cards.
Warrior Goddess Oracle cards. So I created them maybe would have been like the third year after introducing the photo shoot, like the concept of the whole photo shoot, and it was um, like I felt like I had like these bits of wisdom drop in, and I'm like, okay, I need to be able to share these. And then I had all these images from those first women that I photographed, and I was like, it's stunning local locations, and I was just like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
gonna make this. And it really, like, it's interesting when you decide something and then this big flow on effect comes and you just can't stop, and you're like, you just,
Yep.
yeah, and it just all makes sense. And it happened really quickly. It's almost like the idea had been building up in the background, and then all of a sudden it jumped to the foreground, and it was just like, boom, done. Like, I had them done quite quick for a job like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then I just went ahead and done it. And yeah, it was a really beautiful journey. And I created them, and then I got like a group of women, and did a thing where every morning I drew them 3 cards and then sent them a message of what it said, and then they gave feedback, just to see, just a little trial run. And then once I'd done that, it was, yeah, just printing them out and away we went. It was
Yeah,
cool.
so beautiful, like really, really beautiful. And I love that they're all from shoots you've done, with these women. And now they're a
Yes.
part of that. I just love that. That was just really beautiful. And like you say, gorgeous locations around, like, actually.
Yes.
So yeah, really, really cool. And we will have a link in here as to who, how people can get hold of those as well from you.
Mhm.
So that anyone who's interested can actually go and have a look and see. Yeah,
Yep. Cool. Yeah.
beautiful.
They're actually in town, Whangarei.
Oh,
They're at a
yeah,
shop in town now.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah. There's a bit left though in in this print run. So yeah.
Beautiful. That's really cool. And so what from here, Stacey? You've also gone into the Monet, is it Monet?
Monet, yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah,
So that's hair product, isn't it?
yeah. It's hair care, skincare, and makeup. So yeah, but mostly I do the hair care. That's my kind of line I've gone down with that.
Yeah. And definite improvement. I can see that in you with that, honestly. It's really,
It's such
it's
a
been
journey.
really good watching that, because it's like, yeah, there's the proof, you know,
Yeah,
it's like that.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, really good,
sure.
really good.
Yeah, yeah. I was
And
just thinking about when you were talking about the photo shoot
yeah,
and you explaining your feelings that you were kind of going through leading up to it. and the process of looking at the images afterwards, like I just wanted to add that that's like like I feel like that's a typical process that most people go through, you know, that whole what do I do? What do I embody? What do I show up as? And then all of a sudden it just drops in. But even on the photo shoot day, it all kind of comes together and makes sense. That makes
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
It was really interesting. But I was so
mm,
pleased that I'd got it before we went, because it was like I don't, I was like, I have no idea, don't know what the heck. And then I just
yeah,
sort of,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah,
just thought about what I do and who I am in that, and it all just sort of fell into place. Yeah, it was good. It's fun
yeah,
though. I really had fun. Like it was real fun. Because I've
yeah.
never
It was.
enjoyed being in front of a camera ever. And that was me really letting myself enjoy it. So it was really beautiful. I thank you for that. Mm, changed me in some way. Yeah, was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where from here? I know now the other thing I really want to talk to you is you are a pretty major manifester, eh? Like you're very good at creating what you really desire into your life. And I love that. I've been so loving that because that's me. It's like, we might put something there, but we also action what needs to happen to manifest that in, to be actually bring that in. And one of the big things that you actually realized one day when you got into your new home was that that was something on your vision board that you'd put in, eh? Tell us all
Absolutely, yeah.
about that, Stacey, and how you, like, how did, yeah, just tell us all about that because I love creation in that way.
So
Mm.
I have a theory, and it's one of my oracle cards as well, and it's called Creative Vision. And I feel like if we're in this constant place of creation and creating a vision, and always having these visions of beautiful things that we would love in our life, right?
Mhm.
And we're constantly creating. I feel like that constant creation, we're going to have an abundance of beautiful things dropping into our lives along our timeline. So I've got so many visions, like big visions, small visions, visions in between. And it's not necessarily that I desire them all, but they're all things that I would be quite content to experience in my life.
Mhm.
So my thought is having this abundance, it doesn't matter which one drops in because they're all amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, and like, we're always manifesting, right? And it's just channeling that alignment, I feel, to come into alignment with what we desire. But yeah, it was really interesting because where we're living now is a beautiful old villa. We've got our land. We've got an amazing opportunity here, which is going to get us ahead in life. Um, but yeah, like I was sitting at our home one day, and I was looking down the driveway, and I was like, I visioned this driveway, well, not this exact driveway, but I visioned a long driveway with trees over it as a child. And I remember sitting in my Nana and Papa's new home that they built when I was a child. I was 3 when they built it, so I would have been around 5 or 6. I remember sitting in the master bedroom, and they've got a huge master bedroom, and just like, whoa, this room is so huge. And then looking out at their driveway as well, they've got this long driveway, and I remember thinking, oh, it would be so beautiful with these trees arching this driveway. And then I was sitting in my room at my new house, which is a huge bedroom, looking out at my driveway with the trees, and I was
Oh,
just like, that's how that's it. That's yeah, that
isn't
I
that
created that.
incredible?
Yeah, yeah. And even the vision of looking outside and seeing my horses in the paddock, like that's been a childhood dream always. And it's really interesting because at our last home we were living in Carmo, and I had an opportunity to lease some land right next to my house. And so my horses lived there. I had 2 horses at the time, but I used to sit out on our patio and look at the horses across the road in the paddock. And I used to visualize that this was our house. Oh, well, it was our house, but that was our land and our lifestyle block. And I was sitting on our farm.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
just and over that point onwards, like just things started expanding. Like it's like the universe expands your mind with all these little steps, and it expands your mind, and at each point it expands your mind, you believe a little bit more, and then it expands a little bit more, and then you believe a little bit more. So yeah, that's kind of my
I
my thoughts on all of
know.
that. And
Isn't it fun though? It's
sorry.
such a lot of fun, when you actually like I always knew as a kid that I was magic, that I could create things out of anywhere. And then when I got frustrated in my years of
Mm,
growth, going, that's not happening. Why isn't it happening? And it was
mm,
frustrating because I knew there was a key to it, and the key is frequency for sure and alignment.
mhm.
And all of that. But oh my God, it's so much fun. And when you see something show up that is actually like that too, can be, it's that and what we tend to do, a lot of people tend to do, is go, oh, look what my guides and everyone provided for me and brought in for me, I was asking for that. I'm going, no, that was you. You did that. Like, actually claim your power, claim it, because it's us. Yeah. Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
exciting. I love it. I love, love, love it. It's really,
yeah,
really exciting. But that's so cool. And I love, see, for me, this is where I got stuck, really. Stuck in conflict was that everything right now is right here.
mm,
I don't, if somebody said to me, what do you desire? What do you need right now? I don't need anything. I don't desire anything. Everything's here right now. I'm filled up. But when I look into what am I doing, where am I heading, what's coming in, it's like there are definite things, might be material, could be experiences, but there's definite stuff that I would like to still bring forward. So
yes,
for me, it was coming out of the everything's right here, right now, I'm okay, right now. But then that just kept me in a space of right here, right now you know whereas that's a good thing. I'm not saying it's not, but what it wasn't doing was building momentum into something that I was bringing forward. So the
yeah,
ask and you shall receive, yes, that's it, but it's actually knowing that you already have it when you are putting something out there. Like, you could feel yourself on that property with your window showing you the horses on your land, and you were actually feeling that already there, even though it wasn't. Felt like it would
yes,
be. Yeah, that's what brings it in. That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
makes it into
And it
play, eh?
really is. Yeah, and coming into that alignment as well, I feel that's a huge one, is coming into that alignment and that frequency, like you're saying, and really like embodying the feelings of what that what that manifestation, if you want to call it, is, what your vision is, embodying the feeling that that's going to bring into you, because
Mm.
you can embody the feeling right now. That's not, that's something that we have control over as well. But yeah, definitely
Yeah,
alignment and
yeah.
see, is so
And
important.
yes, for sure. And so you actually used a vision board, eh? You actually put things on a vision board? Yeah.
Yes, so I've done so many vision boards. I do pretty much do a vision board every year, and it just has a mishmash of stuff in it. Not too many things, but one image might represent a whole lot of things.
Yes, yeah.
So it's just, yeah, it's basically just pictures to represent certain things. And I'm constantly like, I've got like notebooks everywhere, and I'll just sit down, like I just did it before. I got on this call, Creative Vision. So there's all these little things that I want to do around the house. Like I want to set up like horse obstacles for the horses, and I want to build a tree house, and I want to have hammocks, all that stuff. So these are like the little creations that of the visions that, yeah, I would love to experience.
Yeah. Oh, it's full on. I get it, because we have so many different things that we want to bring in. But I haven't really done vision board, got pictures and put them on anything. I've always had the picture here and it stays, and I have that quite clear for me because I work in picture. But what I do is I write. I definitely write it out. And one of the other things I've never done is put a date on it or a time frame. I don't
Yeah,
know.
no,
People say do that, but I just don't.
yeah. I did a workshop years ago, the very like probably about 17 years ago, and yeah, he was big on saying put dates like on or before XYZ date. But yeah, I never really done it again since then because I never really resonated with that putting a date, because I feel like you've still got to have that element of faith and trust that it will drop in when it aligns and it's supposed to drop
Yeah,
in. Like, and I feel like putting that date on it makes you put an element of control, which yeah,
exactly
it's
that. And
happening.
pressure on yourself as well. It's almost like pressuring that, oh shit,
Yeah,
okay. And it didn't, it closed it in for me. I didn't like it like that. And like you say, the trust that you know it's just going to happen. It'll happen. Could be weeks before that or months before that date even. I just leave it open. But it is such fun. And I
it's
think if
fun.
the more it is, hey, and the more that you do it, the more you just want to do more. But it's that
Yes,
part for me. If I think about the world and the people in the world and what's happening now, the one thing that I would really love everyone to know is how to do this, how to actually
yeah,
really manifest and create in your visions and bring them into
yeah,
reality, because that takes the pressure off life. You know that actually I don't have to worry about anything. I trust myself to actually create this, and we start
yeah,
creating. So cool.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Mm. It's interesting seeing. I feel like since I've kind of become more aware of this kind of stuff, you can kind of I can see people when they're stuck, how I was feeling, like just relating it
Yeah.
to how I was feeling, like and it's really I, it's difficult because you want to say, hey, you want to blurt it all out and say this, and that, but then but then you also know that sometimes people have got to come to that awareness themselves as well. But yeah, like it's been a really interesting place to be in and observe all of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that, and I totally agree. And it's God, I remember the frustration I used to have when things didn't turn out quite when I wanted them to. You know, like and really learning it in a sense, even though I knew it, it was like actually putting it into practice was the thing, and
Yeah,
recognizing where my blocks were, what was actually creating this, the hold up, all of that. It was a work in progress for sure. But oh my gosh, that's such fun. Yeah.
yeah.
So what from now? What now, Stacey? Got some cool stuff. I mean, you're always visioning things, but what have you got lined up for this year, and anything big happening or exciting? Anything new? Just share what you
Well,
want. Like, you don't have to go and tell us all your secrets around what's coming out. Nothing like that. But just yeah.
yeah, I think like definitely like Monat's going to be a big thing moving forward for me. Like there's some big visions with that to come into alignment. Also we've in our home life, our property, we're doing lots of work around our property to just make it work really well for us,
Yeah.
which is cool. Homeschooling is a big part of my
Yes.
well. Yeah, that's going to be a big thing this year. And yeah, I guess just one of my new projects I started this year was I started like a PDF shop. Like that's what I'm calling it anyway. It's just a shop of PDF downloads where I've just added like little workbooks, like little for kids and adults, like little gratitude journals, little prayer books, just little things that have
Awesome.
helped me along on my journey, shifting my mindset and bringing in more gratitude and coming into that alignment, just little things that have helped me along my path. I've just like I like to create little documents and and then like the kids will do workbooks that I've created. So I'm like, well, why don't I put them up in a shop for people to explore? Yeah,
Beautiful.
so
That's cool.
that's been
Yeah.
a goal for this year. And probably one thing I would, yeah, probably want to expand on, but I'm still figuring it out, is my work with the horses, like just offering more with them. I'm still not 100% clear on what that is, but yeah, I just know that there's something more
Something
to come.
else. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
I
maybe,
think
sorry, you go.
I think photography is definitely like um photography, I feel like has kind of dwindled down a bit, but I still love the warrior goddess
Mm,
concept. So I've kind of bundled that up in a bundle called the Empowered Woman. I think it's the Empowered Woman Experience or something like that, or collection. And that's where like I've got the journals, like the PDF journals, like the mindset shift, a Reiki session before, and then a pamper pack of skincare and hair care, and then the photo shoot,
oh,
like a build up to the photo shoot. Yeah, so that's sort of coming into that, like where it's a package offer. So there'll still be an element of photography, but not so much as I'm this
right.
and that photographer, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's
Awesome.
kind of where it's looking at.
That's awesome. That's really cool. I get what you mean about the PDF things though. Honestly, I'm like that myself. I've got a stash. And also I love making up meditation and yet I've never put any out there. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna start doing a bit more of that.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's exciting. And I think this year is like a big green light, eh? We've just got this big green light. It's like just go for it now. It feels really empowering and expansive and joyful for sure. And yeah, did you hit the ground running this year?
I feel like I was a bit more subtle coming into the year.
Oh, you cool.
I feel like that's the nature of homeschooling as well. Like everything's just, yeah, just quite chill and that. But yeah, I've hit the ground feeling amazing and grounded
Yeah,
and supported.
it's a great
um,
energy, isn't it? It's really beautiful energy to be in at the moment, I feel. We've had it pretty
yes,
heightened in the last few days, but it's really beautiful. And just
yeah,
yeah, the momentum, it's just carrying us through and more of that trust in what we're doing and just allowing it to unfold really. It's really lovely.
for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say to anyone who's maybe struggling or not where they feel they want to be, as such? What would your final sort of message to somebody be in that respect? Anything or
Uh,
don't feel
hmm.
pressured to do any say anything. You haven't got anything there.
Well, one thing that kind of drops in, and I feel like we hear this a lot in business, like from business coaches and the like, is that when you start a new business in particular, and I guess I'm relating this to the online space because this is where it dropped in for me first, was to focus on your why. So, for example, when I started Monat, and this is just purely for example, one of the first things that we asked is what's our why? Like, why are we here? Why do we want this? Why are we doing this? And for me, like um, in that online space can be quite daunting sometimes. And
Yes,
then
I
been
yeah,
lots of
agree.
there's been many moments that I've pulled through a month because I've solely gone back to focus on that why. And I've remembered that why, and it's carried me through a month where I might have been struggling. That's for
Right.
example. But then I thought about it and I thought, well, actually, I relate it to homeschool. Like I have some moments where it's like, why am I doing this? Like, this is driving me nuts. Just want to put the kids back in school so I have a day off. But then I thought, hey, well, what's my why for homeschooling? And then it
Yeah.
dropped in. I was like, we actually need a why for all areas of
Yep.
life. And when they're struggling in their area of life, come back to that why. Why is that so important to us? And I mean, yeah, that would be my one solid tip that I feel like came into my awareness very heavily last year. Like, have a why for different areas of your life. Like, why are you a mum? Why are you homeschooling? Why are you doing XYZ business? Why is that important to you? And come back to that why. And I feel like even for me personally, and other people, lots of other people would find it as well. And then some people it still might be a work in progress. Every time I come back to that why, it reminds me, well, it gives me a little bit more strength to
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
And yeah, it gets easier.
Mm.
But yeah, that's what's come to my mind at the
Yeah,
moment.
good. No, that's a great point because there is a why behind everything we do. Whether it's
Yeah,
it's self-gaining something or whether it's just purely because we want to, like in a kind, generous way or whatever it might be. But there's always a why. And I've been finding that coming back to my why is definitely a good thing as well. It just kicks you back into the energy that was there when you first got the thing, drop in, whatever it might be, and then you start running with it. But we can run out of energy with it. We can, sort of sometimes it might feel like there's a lot that needs to happen for this to happen, and we get a wee bit tired in between. But it's good just reminding for sure. Definitely kicks us back into gear. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I think
And
the
I'm
why is like coming in many places for people today in many different ways, eh? Yeah.
for sure. And like another one is, which is my ultimate go-to, is come back to gratitude as well. Like, that's pretty
Yeah.
powerful. And also gratitude in advance. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
all these visions that we're creating, having gratitude in advance, because like you said, they're already ours. We just need to align with that. And how
Mm,
we have
yeah.
bring faith online is by having gratitude in advance.
Yeah. That gratitude's really powerful. Like there's times when I've sat in to meditate, say, when I was doing more of the meditation thing and my learning of everything, and I'd get in, and I'd be restless and my mind would be going off in all these different places. And I'd be getting frustrated because I need to shut up and just sit still and be silent, but there's so much churning over and all the things, And as soon as I started really dropping into a gratitude and just starting with that, just taking a breath and then actually starting to be, actually name everything that I was grateful for. The smallest of things, even just the bottle that I can put my water in for the day, all the things and
Yeah,
instantly I found that really anchor me in. It grounds me for one thing. It opens my heart more and
yeah.
more, and you start receiving from it, and it would take
And it
me into this really beautiful, calm space within peace. Mm.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be huge. Like I feel
No.
like some people get up in gratitude that they've got to be grateful for this amazing thing, and it's got to be huge. But like you said, gratitude for the water in your bottle, like just simple
Mm.
things, like gratitude
Yeah.
for waking up, and anything like it just exercises that muscle, and it's still bringing in gratitude, whether
It
it be
is.
gratitude for amazing big home or gratitude for yeah, for my cup
Yeah.
of tea or something like that.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing, part of me is that I noticed that when I first started, to do that in respect to having a purpose and doing it, like meditation or something to still me, I found that I wasn't feeling it. I was saying it, I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for this and grateful for that. And then the more that I went into that, the more I started feeling it. and it was like my body started receiving and opening to the gratitude as well, you know.
Yeah.
And it just, yeah, would grow stronger, and then I'd be in this really peaceful, beautiful space that I could just sit and actually relax and meditate, you know, and go deeper. So
Yeah.
yeah, you mightn't feel it to start with, but by the time, it's like one day Spirit said to me, um, what comes first, the feeling or the smile? And I thought, oh, okay. And then it was like, okay, so I'm going to sit here. I'm not feeling the smile, but I'm going to sit here and raise my mouth like a smile. And you know, when I sat in that, the longer I sat in, which didn't take very long, I had the feeling draw up. It was like it
Yeah.
pulls it up. And that was
Yeah. Yeah.
really interesting. And I thought, that's it. If we walk around with a smile, we mightn't be feeling very smiley. But if we
Yeah.
actually raise our mouth to do that and walk around like that, we will start feeling the feeling of it. And it'll become
Yeah.
easier and easier. It was a really interesting question to me.
And
Yeah.
then the smile is contagious as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
That's really
smile,
cool.
generally they smile back and they're pulling in their feelings as well. So yeah,
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah, it was.
And
It
you're
was a
thinking,
really interesting thing. And it really made me think about it. And I thought, that's really profound, actually. And the other thing, one day I said to God, you know, creator, universe, whatever we want to call it, it was God at that point for me. And I said to God this morning, okay, well, I'm going to have a chat. What do you want to chat about? And God said sugar. And I was like, whoa, okay. You know, I was thinking some profound wisdom thing, but it was profound wisdom. And I said, what do you want to share with me around sugar? And straight away I heard that sugar, hang on, sugar takes you out of your natural happy.
mm,
And I thought that was actually really right. That's so right. It gives us a false
yeah,
happy. It was really cool.
mm,
And I thought that's another really profound thing. And those things work both like quite quickly together, those two. I'd been having these chats with
yeah,
God, you know, each day. I thought I'm just going to sit and have a communion. And that was, yeah, two really profound things that I never forgot. It was like, right, sugar takes you out of your natural happy. And it's so true.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, look, Stacey, love watching what you're up to and all of that. And do you know what? I'm going to say it on here because it keeps coming in. But your horses, when you were saying I don't quite know what's next, and this might not be what's next, but I got oracle cards. I got the healing of frequencies through the oracle cards with them. And I've only ever found one set of horse oracle, and they were profound. They were beautiful cards. I couldn't even tell you who they were by now. And I was gifted a pack, and I gifted that on to somebody else who's really horsey and loves them. But yeah, that's what sort of floated in, was that. Hmm.
That is a little project that's pottering on in the background.
Yeah, cool.
In the
Oh, lovely. Awesome. Well, all the very, very best, and much, much love to you and your family. And yeah, just going to be interesting to see what you manifest or create or vision in this year and see where we go with it all. We'll all see where each other's going. Honestly, it's like a free for all at the moment. Everyone's on this buzz of doing new things, and yeah, it's very exciting. Mm,
is.
yeah. So thank you for coming in. It was lovely.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Gorgeous. All the very best, Stacey.
You too. Thanks, Mandy.
Thank you.